Hello everyone, welcome to the Hard Yard with Aravind Yadav. And the Hard Yard is where I'll be putting on my thoughts, I'll be sharing my knowledge, sharing my expertise, and also experiences. In today's episode, I'll be narrating you one of my recent write-ups that's called "Every Business Can Be a Technology Business, Given the Right Resources." So, what do I really mean by that? I believe that in today's internet world, any business can be a technology business. Any even the small businesses can adapt to this technology today and progress in their business pursuit. So I'll go in deep into that. I'll go in depth into that. I'll share with you my thoughts, my perspective. It doesn't need to be right, but this is what I think of. All right. So we are living in a world that definitely fascinates me daily. Not just daily, but every hour. A couple of days ago, I came across a YouTube video of a man pleading people to buy Bitcoin, like it was around 8 years ago. So the YouTube video was 8 years old, and there was a man pleading people to buy Bitcoin. So that thing that blown my mind was he was not actually trying to exploit people. He was trying to help people by explaining the underlying potential of this Bitcoin technology, this crypto technology. But most people perceived him as a scam artist, right? But nonetheless, some people did believe in his words and invested in Bitcoin. And real talk, the ones who invested in Bitcoin 8 years ago, perhaps mostly quadrupled their money for sure. I believe that even after the latest drop in Bitcoin, I think they definitely made a lot of money. Look at the internet. Our daily internet has grown to a great extent. You can even learn rocket science on this internet these days, and viral videos from YouTube are now NFT commodities, right? Students are graduating on the internet. The vast majority of things are in online sales. You can buy them online. I see small scale shopkeepers now hiring software developers. They're at least some of them are approaching, and some of them are still not sure, but it's happening. And now couples are leasing social media marketers, right, for their weddings. That's a good one as well. I do social media, so that's a good one. That's a good sign for me as well as as a whole, collective technology nerds and social media nerds or internet nerds. It's a good sign. People who the younger generation who's growing on the internet, they're getting their much needed their much needed support, right? Financial support. Now content writing is a craft, so people are getting paid for it. Social media is a craft. Social media, people are getting paid for it, right? That's a good the need for technology and its associated services has never been more useful, and I do really believe that. As a computing graduate, this evolution makes me happy. Maybe I'm biased towards the computing students who are graduating, but there are a few vulnerabilities that I see that can threaten all this upside, especially in rural India, because I come from rural India, right? So, and the vulnerabilities that I see, they do not have anything to do with the disruption that's happening globally. As someone who comes from rural India, the only vulnerabilities that I see are the lack of knowledge and interest in e-commerce and probably cybersecurity. There's kind of advanced subjects for these business people, small scale business people in rural India. They're definitely advanced subjects, but again, that's the only vulnerability I see. So I believe rural India needs to work on this to embrace the technology growth into their businesses, right? Like in India, we have plenty of computing graduates coming out every year. Like the study says that India is producing around 2 lakh, 200,000 computer science graduates every single year. But again, less than 5% of them, probably around 8,000 or 10,000 of them, are competing on a global level. So I wonder, what about the remaining 190,000? Like, well, some of them are getting into different fields and are happy with their pursuit, and that's great. They doesn't need to become a software engineer. They doesn't need to get into this technology world if they're happy with some other field, if they're happy doing some other craft. But if you're one of those people who are into IT, studied computing science, but are not getting opportunities and do not have a blueprint about where and how to take your knowledge and expertise, I think this one's for you. This episode is for you. I really want to understand that it's not having a startup idea. It's not working for corporations, and it's not featuring in Forbes 30 under 30, and not being an owner of a startup in Silicon Valley or Bangalore or Hyderabad that you should be putting on a pedestal, at least for now. I do respect all of those accomplishments, but I believe that, for people who are struggling getting into IT or don't have a clue about how to make it happen, I believe that there are better ways to achieve what you desire. And I'm talking about the one I really, really believe in. And that's a lot easier than most people think. That's nothing but helping small businesses in the remote parts of India to make profits using the technology and the tools available. As a technologist, as a computing science student, if one can help a small business in rural India to adapt to the current technology trends and run successfully with it, making profits, believe me, all your dreams will come back to you. It's just that going to your local business, asking if they would be interested to use your knowledge about their business for their business growth, it can be very easy if you're that sort of person who likes to socialize, right? So, what can you? You can start with your local store that's not leveraging technology enough, and go to them and offer them your services. So if you're a computing grad and if you know how to develop a mobile app, or if you know how to create a website, for these small businesses, or even anything better, like I know of mobile app and I know of creating a website, but if we know anything better for these businesses to sustain well, I believe that you will sustain well as well, and you will get noticed by everyone else, and you achieve your goals, right? So once you get noticed by everyone else, then you can put your actual goals, real desires, or your real interests on a pedestal and move forward. But the only thing is, you will have to make this happen, to actually create a mobile app for this business, or create a website for this business to run successfully, to make profits. You will have to have the actual knowledge and, of course, interest. So that's what I believe in, and that's this episode is all about. Thank you so much for listening. Have a good day, have a great day, have fun. All the best.